Today on Let's Fish TV, we're at Jordan Lake, Alabama. This lake is stocked full of spotted bass. Today, that's exactly what we're targeting. We're gonna be up in the shallow water though, fishing for spawners. Post-spawn, spawn, and pre-spawners. They're all piled up right up on the bank. Today is gonna be one of those days that you definitely wanna stay tuned for. We're gonna have a lot of fun and catch a lot of bass. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now.
That's a big one right there.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southeast region every week.
You ever caught a fish that big?
No! Got him.
Night of the day. There you go. Another redfish. Got him. Now, that's what Let's Fish TV is all about right there, guys. Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today we're at Jordan Lake, Alabama. Jordan Lake is a small lake that is part of the Coosa River chain of lakes, central Alabama, and it's absolutely loaded with big fish. Whether it be spotted bass, stripers, crappie, you name it, this place has it. Today we're gonna go after spotted bass. The fish are on the banks, they're shad spawn, they're spawning. There's a few of them even post-spawn right now. The fishing is heating up here at Jordan Lake, and I know we're gonna smash on them. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this Bass Cat Mercury launch, get everything set up, and we'll toss it back to the studio for your weekend planner.
Hi everybody, so glad you are with us once again. Be sure to wish any moms around you a happy Mother's Day this Sunday. The Saloon tables are indicating good game fish activity on both days this weekend. Peak daytime hours begin early at 2:09 on Saturday and 3:08 Sunday morning. Daytime game fish activity will begin around 2:43 on Saturday and 3:42 Sunday afternoon. Depending on your area, the sun will rise around 6:32 and set at 8:18, and evenings will have a moon that's 14% visible. Join Let's Fish TV on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to stay up to date with our latest fishing adventures and tips. And subscribe to our YouTube channel to see all of our past episodes.
Hey, we're idling out on Lake Jordan here in South Alabama. Last year I did a really unique show here, catching them in the current, using that Strike King Rage swimmer. Today though, we're gonna go at it a little bit differently. We're in about the same time of the year. We're here in the early spring. The fish are spawning, you got a shad spawn going, you got a lot of different things going on. And today we're gonna go try to exploit that. We got great weather. I mean, it's a little bit cold this morning, and that's kind of what you get around here, but it's gonna warm up to the mid-70s this afternoon. A little bit lighter winds than I had yesterday. I came out here yesterday, just kind of fumbled around and looked around a little bit. I think we're gonna have a good show today. I can't wait to showcase just how great Jordan Lake is this time of year. So we'll see y'all here in just a second. I'm looking at it and I see a fish swimming out in front of the bed, and I'm like, oh, there's one swimming. And my line's going, that's funny. Oh, there we go. Nice Jordan Lake bass right there. There we go. Man, what a beautiful fish that is. There we go. Oh, man, oh man. Gotta love it. Check that out. That's what I'm talking about. That's a nice Jordan Lake spotted bass. Today we're in South Alabama, and this is exactly what we're targeting. Nice spotted bass like this one here. We're in a really fun time of the year. A lot of different things going on. Today we're going to talk about how to slow down and fish kind of an abnormal bait on a shaky head that will help you catch a lot more fish. You know, here on Jordan, there's a lot of different things you can do to catch fish right now. You know, the shad are spawning. You know, there's fish on beds, there's fish offshore. You can go use Active Target 2 and target some of those fish. And maybe today at some point we'll go out there and do that. But right now what we're doing is we're fishing a little transition points off the main lake and fishing a shaky head. You know, a shaky head is a bait that I've fished for a really long time. But today we're fishing a little bit different than your traditional shaky head. You know, the mindset of going out there and throwing a jig head with a bait on it. A lot of times you see guys fishing straight tail worms, and don't get me wrong, I'm one of those guys too a lot of times. But this time of year is really special, and this one I actually go to a creature bait on my shaky head, especially around spotted bass. It's something about that creature bait tends to get you better than average fish. And today we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about when to fish this type of bait, what exact bait I'm fishing today, and how you can have success on your home body of water doing the exact same thing. But I'm gonna get back to it. The fishing is heating up, and so is the temperatures, thankfully, because it was a pretty cold morning. So we'll see if we can catch us a few more before the end of the day. We'll see y'all here in just a minute.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. My partners over there want to make sure you get out on the water, but spring is the best time. Visit crazysistermarina.com and book your trip. Real quick, it's that time of the year. A lot of us are heading offshore, chasing those Carolina gold, that mahi, dolphin, whatever you want to call it. And a couple safety items that I make sure I have on the boat, especially this time of the year where I might go out to 3 miles, 10 miles by myself. First off is a personal flotation device like this. Another thing is a personal locator beacon, or like for my case, the Garmin InReach is awesome. I got safety things in here. I can notify the family that we're safe, notify them in case of a problem, and then also I can get in touch with the Coast Guard if I need them. Other than that, make sure you've got your flares, your flare gun, check the dates on those bullets, make sure they're good, because those flares without dates, Coast Guard is going to send you back to the dock. And I'll tell you right now, if you're looking for the fish, find that temperature break, get on the satellite picture, find the break, you're going to find some warm water, throw a swim bait up in the middle of them. It can be some great action on a spinning rod and some light tackle this time of the year. Go out there and fill that cooler up and have a great time, and remember, as always, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
There's one. There we go. Made a little change, caught a bass. There we go. Not a bad little fish. Switched up to a little Ned rig. Caught a nice bass. You know, this place is loaded with this size fish. You know, this is a good 2 1/4, around that range fish. You can't ask for much better than that, but just, I was catching them on the little creature bait, switched to the Ned rig, and I want to talk to you about that. I made a little adjustment. It's just funny. I was talking to my cameraman about it. Let's get this fish back, and we'll talk about the adjustment I made and why you should pay attention to those little details when you're out there on the water. So we made a little change here. You know, it's not even just the bait change, and I do think the bait change was important. Just kind of went to that downsized profile, that Ned Ocho here. But you know, when I originally put the Ned Ocho on, I had 2 bites in a row on the Ned Ocho, and neither fish actually got the bait. And I'm going to tell you why it is important to have a pack of these in your boat all the time. You know, don't get me wrong, there's some other really great Ned plastics out there, some that are really durable and you don't ever tear them up. But the reason I fish the Ned Ocho more so than just about anything, yes, it floats up in the water, you're still gonna get it to stand, but what this bait allows me to do is dye the tail chartreuse. And I know it sounds so silly, and sometimes people are like, man, it doesn't matter, but when you get on a spotted bass fishery like Jordan, there's a lot of other great ones, Smith Lake, Hartwell, Lanier, and you get on these spotted bass fisheries, dyeing the tail chartreuse, just something about that little bit of color change will help you get more bites. And that's exactly what I did. I had 2 bites in a row, missed both of them, dyed the tail, and the fish engulfed the bait, and I was able to catch it. So paying attention to that detail is the reason I caught that fish, in my opinion. I mean, because otherwise it just kept short striking, and finally that scent, that smell got them to commit to the bait. So pay attention to those little things when you're out there on the water. Sometimes just a little bit of a color change, profile change will help yield more fish. I have a feeling we're gonna catch some more today. We're just getting started today, guys, and the fishing's already hot. So I'll see y'all here in just a second.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach Tourism. Let's fish on Alabama's beaches. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion.
Oh, guys, this feels like a pretty good one here. What I got? Oh my gosh. Oh, I got it. There we go. That feels like a good one there. Oh, it is a good one. There we go. Jeez, that's a nice spotted bass there. There we go. That's a good one there. Check that out. Right in the top of the mouth. That Ned rig got him. There we go, man. That is what Jordan is all about right there. That is an awesome bass. Just sitting out here on this point, just dragging around with a Ned rig. You just never know what you're gonna catch. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this place shows out, man. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for the rest of the day. But let's get this fish back. We're talking about Jordan Lake and how you can come here and catch them if you're in the area. And there's a lot of other great places around here too. You know, Jordan Lake is just a really cool place. It's part of the Coosa River chain. You know, there's a bunch of lakes that are built on the Coosa River, and it happens to be one of the smaller sections of the lake, but it is an awesome, awesome place. You know, you have Lake Mitchell just upstream, Lake, you got Neely Henry, you've got Logan Martin, you've got all these great lakes. So if I could tell you to go anywhere, you know, you have a lot of different places all across the South that you should go visit. Go check out the Coosa River, you know, because you could almost make a week of it where you jump from like maybe Jordan to Mitchell to Lake to Logan Martin to Neely and hit all of them in a row and fish them once each day. I think you'd be surprised how many fish you catch. There's a bunch of big bass, a bunch of big largemouth, spotted bass, crappie, striper. You know, they're always running current through here. This chain of lakes is just a really unique place. I know I've landed on Jordan last year and we landed on Jordan again this year, but it's just a really fun place. I just couldn't help myself. It was such a beautiful lake, and I've been to a bunch of the other ones and I haven't spent as much time on Jordan, so I kind of wanted to learn it a little bit better. But real fast though, I want to talk to you about my battery setup. You know, I get a lot of questions on how do you run batteries, what batteries you run, and how do you have them set up. And this year I'm running a very unique setup on my batteries. You know, on my cranking batteries with the giant electronics that we're running these days, you almost have to have a few extra batteries than just that single 12 volt that we're all used to. So I'm actually running 3 12 volts running parallel, and it has definitely been a big factor for me to keep good solid power to my units, to my active target 2, and that's a really important aspect. And actually running 2 36 volt 40 amp trolling batteries by Relion, and that's going to give me power on my trolling motor all day long. So just pay attention on these big electronics, and the more electronics you get, the more active target transducers you get, the more it's going to drain your batteries down. So you need to make sure you have enough battery output to be able to withstand the power of that and the power of your motor, because for my Mercury motor, it actually takes a certain amount of cranking amps to actually be able to start the motor. So if you're not in that range, and that's where you run into issues. So, and that's one really cool thing is Relion is the only lithium battery out there that is Mercury certified. So, I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, it is a very, very good battery. I trust my career on it. I trust my day in and day out on the TV show with it. So if you get a chance, check out Relion batteries. They have a setup that is gonna be perfect for you.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my favorite part of the show, the Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia Coastal Fishing Report. This segment is brought to you by me, Captain Patrick Armisen with Ugly Fishing. You can check out my website at uglyfishing.com. Along the Alabama Gulf Coast, speckled trout is starting to become the main staple for a lot of inshore fishermen, guides, captains, all of us. Speckled trout are really dispersed throughout the entire Mobile Bay and Mississippi Sound, anywhere from shallow water flats, around stumps and grass beds and oyster shell. Mississippi Gulf Coast, talked to Robert Brody with Brody Charters. He said that the white trout and ground mullet action has been really, really good. He said that that's been his one of his main staples for him as far as putting customers on fish, anywhere from 50 to over 100 fish in a day. The white trout are in good size. Y'all remember to keep what you need, release the rest. God bless, guys.
I got him. There we go. Oh, God, this feels like a pretty good one here. Oh, what do I got? Oh my gosh. I knew he was gonna go for a run there. I mean, how big is this? Oh, it's a pretty dang good one. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a big one there. Nice, nice spotted bass. He just decided he was gonna go the other direction and there wasn't a whole lot of turning him. God, these dang Coosa River spots fight so hard. Oh, come back here, baby. Oh, open up. There we go. God, look at that. Spotted bass right there. Golly. Now that is a good one. I had him perfectly hooked too. God, I mean, just a big one. And look at him, he's peeing. That's a pretty good sign that that fish was probably on a bed over here. And just fishing these rounded, flat points, main lake points.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Powerful, total boat control. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on, challenge your limits.
Lee, gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. What a nice fish. Let's get this fish back. Perfect spot. There we go. Man, what a nice one. Oh, come back here. Stop all that craziness. There we go. Another nice little spotted bass. God, they fight so hard, it's crazy. There we go. Just like that. Lee, gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. What a nice fish. Let's get this fish back. And you know, we're here at the end of the day. The fishing has been fantastic. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I cannot wait to come back to Jordan. I hope y'all have had a really good taste of how good this fishing is on this body of water. But let's get this fish back so I can get back on its bed. You know, fishing that little Ned rig, you know, we started out the day throwing a little creature bait, mid-size rage bug, made the change over to the Ned rig, the Strike King Ned Ocho. But what we're fishing here is rounded flat points, and one of the big things here is they're not real long points. You know, they're not the ones sticking out in the middle of the lake. They're really short, got deep water close by, and they have these retaining walls on them. So one of the big things on the Coosa River, fishing these lakes, the fish, especially the big spotted bass, like to spawn on the main lake. You know, you're not having to go way back in a creek and try to catch them. Don't get me wrong, you have fish back there spawning, no doubt about it. But on these retaining walls, on these big walls, there's gonna be rock, there's gonna be a lot of hard structure down there, and that's what those fish are spawning on. So taking that Ned rig, this is a tour grade Ned head, and I always throw the weedless version of it. You know, it has a little weed guard on it, so I can fish in and around rock and wood and stumps and stuff like that. But all you're doing with this thing, especially this time of year, is you're casting it out, you know, off the wall. You don't want to cast it right on the wall because it's about this deep right there on the wall. But You want to be in that 3 to 5 to 7 foot range, and all you're doing is slowly dragging this thing. You're not hopping it, you're not shaking it, you're not doing anything like that, but really slowly fish methodically around this. In this one little area that we've been in, we've caught 4 or 5 bass already in a real short amount of time. And you'll find little zones like that. So, and I don't care if you're on Logan Martin, on Lay Lake, on Neely Henry, or here, when you find a little area that they're in, there's probably gonna be quite a few bass in that little zone. And you know, right now we just kind of happen to run into a zone of them that were all pretty solid fish. So we're gonna get back to it, and I'm gonna get this Ned Ocho out there. I'm gonna re-rig me a new one on there and see if we can do a little bit more damage here on Jordan Lake. Oh, bit it, got him. Largemouth. There we go. Not a bad little fish. Not a big one. Oh, he's fat though. Check that out. Here we go. So they do have largemouth in here. Not a bad little fish. Golly. I can't say enough about that Ned rig hook on that tour grade Ned head. Not a bad little largemouth. Oh, he's about to bite it. A little one. The Coosa River in general is just one of my favorite places to go across this entire country. So if you get a chance, you need to come check out the Coosa River. I'm gonna go ahead and get loaded back up, headed to the boat ramp, and we'll see you in just a second.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lake Hartwell Country. Catch the feeling. Lose, feel the difference. Strike King, tie one on. And by Glacier Outdoor. Outdoors since 1982. Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today on Jordan Lake, used a couple different baits to catch our fish. You know, the very first bait that I picked up is one that I fish for a lot of spotted bass all across the country, especially when I feel like they are spawning, and that is a Strike King mid-size rage bug. I was fishing that on a shaky head in the watermelon red color. You know, I like the mid-size rage bug, or even the baby rage bug. When I'm fishing for spotted bass, they seem to really, really like it. You know, you don't always have to fish a straight tail worm when you're fishing a shaky head. Sometimes that little bitty change up will yield you way more bites. But the breadwinner today, the one that caught majority of the bass, and definitely the best bass of the day, was a Strike King Ned Ocho. The color is this is blue crawl. I really like a blue crawl. It just has that little bit of blue shine to it in the water. But the big key here was dying the tail chartreuse. You know, I know that is kind of an age-old thing, but it definitely makes a difference when spotted bass fishing. An 1/8 ounce Strike King Tour Grade Ned jig head. This is the weedless version. This is an 8-pound Strike King Contra 4-carbon leader with 10-pound Strike King braid. On the rod, you know, when it comes to fishing a shaky head, a Ned rig, a wacky rig, I keep my rods fairly simple as far as size and action. A 7-foot medium action, moderate fast to fast action rod is what you want. This is a Team Lose Elite with a Team Lose. This is a Hyper Mag speed spin, has a super slick drag, and that's what you need when fishing that light line and fishing up there shallow. I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you on the next one.